Alright, and welcome back to the fourth game in the finals of the Coronation Cup between Splay Buzzer and Food Please. And if you haven't watched the video where I explain why we haven't uploaded or cast this game yet, I suggest you do so, because there I explain a little bit more why we have to keep the Fog of War ticked on in the first few minutes, or otherwise we will get a game crash. So this match, or this game, is played on Socotra. And Socotra, for those of you who don't know, it's a small map, a smaller than a usually tiny map, because the outside of the map cannot be accessed, and the town centers are also usually very close. So you see that we can easily fit those two town centers on one screen. So that means that we will see a lot of early aggression on this map. And this is really favoring the playstyle of Food Please, who also picked this map as his home map, as he has lost the last game. So I think he has something prepared for Socotra, and let's see what that is. However, what you have to keep in mind is that Splay Buzzer, also a very aggressive player. He is known for also going for Man-at-Arms or for Militia in the Dark Age, going for a Drush, going for Scout Rushes. So he also knows the aggressive meta very well. So let's see what he will be going for. But maybe I missed it over here, but we'll see some goats rotting away. I'm not sure what happened there. But that's a little bit of a miss micro by Splay Buzzer. Maybe the beer that he had after his last win is really getting to him. And look at how much food is rotting away. So for newer players who didn't know this, if you kill an animal, like a herdable, then and leave it on the ground, it will just rot away slowly. And this way you can lose a lot of food. That's why you only want to always just eat one goat at a time. And now Food Please already dropping the barracks. He really wants to go for an aggressive style here. He wants to go forward with Militia and pressure his opponent already early on. And that's what he's going to do. And I think Splay Buzzer might be wary of that. He might be also thinking about a barracks. And now a few shots have been fired on the scout of Splay Buzzer, and this scout needs to be careful, or otherwise it will get taken out by the scout of Food Please, especially if he just stands there and takes it. Oh my god, 3 HP. I wonder if he is able to make it back to the town center, or if he will be killed off by the scout of Food Please. Oh, but what Splay Buzzer is doing here, he's luring the enemy scout into his TC, and a lot of shots have been fired. And is the scout going to survive? Let's see some micro by Food Please, and indeed, he's able to pull it off. I think he was a little bit lucky there. If the arrows had spread a little bit differently, then the scout would have died, but still very impressive from him to be able to micro that down, to be able to avoid most of the shots. Now that was a little bit peculiar. We saw a mining camp, and oh yeah, now some palisades. He deleted the mining camp and then replaced the mining camp. Or maybe it was a lumber camp, maybe he did some kind of misclick there. And I think now we're getting close to the point in the game where the desync happened usually, because of those palisade walls over here. So let's hope this does not happen when we watch the replay over here. Again, typical Food Please economy. I will always point it out whenever I see it. So just casual 10 idols over here, 9 idols. So why not? But that's because he is focused elsewhere. He is focused on laming. He has the Militia already forward. Unfortunately, since we are not on all visible, it's easy to miss stuff like this. And Splay Buzzer has to pull a lot of villagers. I think he's pulling too many here, honestly, to deter those Militia who actually killed off all the zebras except for one, which Splay Buzzer is still able to take. And now I think it's the crucial moment in the game. The mill is trying to be placed, but he's not able to do that because the building site is obstructed. And so he has to place the mill somewhere else. And I think now we're safe to untick this and just watch the game regularly, which is much better for my experience and your experience as well, I hope. So still 3 Militia here forward, pestering Splay Buzzer. And so one thing to note is that Vikings actually get a bonus for their infantry, but this does not apply yet in Dark Age. So that's typical with most of these bonuses. So they get more HP on their infantry, but as you can see, they still have their standard 40. So only when you go to Feudal Age, you will actually receive the bonus. And now we see some messy fighting over here. Let's see if the villager will go down. There's one weak one over here. The one from Food Please also weak, but it's getting walled in, and this could be dangerous later on if this villager breaks out. One villager off, Slay Buzzer getting picked off, and so a lot of damage being done in the early stages of the game. And look at these berries. I mean, it's just awkward. That's just terrible. I mean, still you can take them, but look at all the way that the villagers have to walk. So I think it's better to take the inner berries and just maybe pull these villagers back, pull them back to your TC, let them do something else, and just take the berries slowly but steadily from the center over here. So we have reached a little bit of a low in the action, so let's talk a little bit about the civilization of Slay Buzzer, and he is actually the Saracen. Saracens nowadays considered to be a very good civilization because of their market bonus. So they just get better prices at the market, so they're very good at negotiating, it seems. As we have another aggression over here by Food Please, but Food Please will just lose this militia and might also lose the other militia. I think he should have just waited for all of his militia, which he is still producing, or which he was still producing, to gather them and then attack with all three at once. But look at how precarious this is here for Slay Buzzer. He really has to take from this one berry bush, and then the militia can just come in and pester him, and it's just a mess. So as I said, Saracens have the market bonus, so they're considered to be very strong because they can just buy themselves up to the next age. Or if you're doing some kind of aggression and you have a bad economy, just put all your villagers on gold and just buy all the resources you need. So that's kind of a Huang style that you could go for, and that's why some players are even calling for nerf of the market bonus. So they also got some changes recently, which we might see in this game. So one is that now their foot archers get +2 attack against buildings as a team bonus, and it was removed as a Civ bonus, so it's like it has been changed back and forth, and I don't even know what the original one was, but they now only get +2, or get +2. And another village of Slay Buzzer goes down to these 4 militia, and I think Slay Buzzer didn't expect Food Please to really keep on making the militia, so that's very nice for Food Please. And he also has 1 villager more because of that, because he was able to pick off 1 villager and still make more of his own while he has this aggression going on. So very nicely done by him. But if you look at the resources, we will see that Slay Buzzer is has a little bit more food, so he will be up to the next age a little bit quicker, I think. And now a lot of villagers are being pulled to attack these militia, and I think another villager will go down by Slay Buzzer. Yes, indeed. So nicely done by Food Please. However, if you consider it, if you lose all your militia for like 1 or 2 villagers, it's probably in the end not 100% worth it. So yes, it might feel very good to kill off a villager here and there, but in the end it might not be worth it overall. Another villager having been sent forward by Food Please, and he's going to try to deny the stone. And that's going to be very important because, as we know, Food Please usually wants to go for towers. So if you're going for tower rush and you're able to deny the stone of your opponent, that's a big win, because you can make more towers than your opponent can't. And I think this is a little bit of a mistake. I think he should just finish this over here, because if we look at the resources, I mean, okay, he wants to pick off another villager, but that's probably not going to happen. And instead, more villagers by Slay Buzzer are coming forward, and I think he will be able to, might be even able to kill this villager of Food Please, or at least kill this militia off. So I think good engagement there by Slay Buzzer, and this villager will go away, but the militia has been killed off by the villagers of Slay Buzzer. So coming back to the tower rush, so this stone is kind of denied. Could have been completely denied as Blaybuzzer advances to the next age, but let's look at the resources. There is no extra resources here on the right except this gold pile, whereas the stone piles are here, 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 and this one. So they're more or less in the reach of Food Please, and at the moment it doesn't look like there's any safe way for Blaybuzzer to take any stone. So this could be really, really bad for Blaybuzzer, especially as Food Please is now reaching the next stage and also coming forward with villagers to put a tower probably here on the gold mine, where there is surprisingly no villager, or just well, 2 villagers there. As Blaybuzzer now had almost the resources to click up to the next stage, and he is actually opting to go for a stable and a blacksmith. And I kind of question this decision, because you are the Saracens, so I think the market might even be the priority here. Because then you can just now quickly buy the rest of the resources that you need and just click up a little bit sooner and then balance your economy, especially in such a messy game, especially in this game where you're being tower rushed, you're being lamed, so probably your economy is not going to be perfect, so you probably need to balance here and there, buy some of this, sell some of that. So I think the market should be a priority for Saracens. Nevertheless, Blaybuzzer is now going up to the Castle Age. So that's very good for him. And in the Castle Age he will be able to pump out the knights, or maybe even camels, however I doubt that we will see that. Now one problem for the Saracens is, so they get the knights in the Castle Age, but they do not get cavalier or paladins. So you don't want to invest into the knight line. Instead you would maybe go for archers, which I think would also be a good call against Food Please. Now Food Please himself, he's also dropping a blacksmith, dropping the market, so the standard fast castle thing. And you see he has the barracks, so he could have also gone for a stable or an archery range, but I think he also wants to utilize the market. Even though as the Vikings he does not get any significant bonus. The Vikings, however, get wheelbarrow and handcart for free, so the villagers are, when you reach the feudal and the castle age, are just so much more efficient, especially the farming villagers. So that's why Vikings are usually considered, have always been considered, and are usually considered one of the strongest civilizations in almost any circumstance, to be honest. So they're a pretty strong civilization here. Now Blaybuzzer, reaching the Castle Age, immediately queuing up 2 knights, and that could be his moment to come back into this game and also pester Food Please a little bit, because 1 or 2 knights is already enough to swoop in here, kill a few villagers, and yeah, make something happen. Put some pressure on the opponent, and the first knight is out, and there's this weak villager from before, and yeah, the knight just kills her, just slaughters her, and is now able to go forward. And these 3 spearmen in the back, they're having a tough time until they're able to catch up. They will just have to do a lot of walking, so I think this knight will be able to do a lot. Yeah, he's getting in on the stone. The villagers on the stone, yeah, another villager will just go down, and that's how you do it, that's how you get back into the game, and the villager number is even now. So nicely done for Blaybuzzer, getting the earlier castle time, getting the knight out, and already making something happen. I mean, it's already 100 food down the drain, and also the idle time, and also the reaction time that you force from your opponent. And I think the second knight and third knight is already here. I'm not sure, yeah, you can take this trade, but is it really worth it? I think it's better to just go forward and harass more of these villages. And yeah, some nice quick walls there by Food Please actually. So his stone miners appear to be safe for now, and now the spearmen are coming forward. And I think that Blaybuzzer needs to be careful not to take too many hits by the spearmen. Yes, he's getting 1 more villager pick, another villager pick over here, but he might lose a knight in the process. Oh no, he is just about fine, but these knights are on low HP now, and he needs to be increasingly more careful with the knights so that he does not run into this clump of spearmen by Food Please. So let's see how this game develops. I think that Splaybuster should switch now from the knights into crossbowmen, because you've seen that your opponent already has invested a lot into the spearmen, and Foodbeast is also going for the pikeman upgrade. So he's investing a lot to counter the knights. And I think he will be very successful with this, unless Splaybuster, oh no, this is bad for Splaybuster, losing one knight for free basically. Okay, it was already in low HP, but yeah, you can never run into this clump of pikemen. And now this knight, oh god, look at this. He's just getting poked down, now only on 8 HP, and that's not a threat anymore. A knight on 8 HP, that's pretty bad. Also some walling going in for Food Please over here. One thing that's interesting to me is that the tower rush has been stopped, but that's and we will see the reason why. Because Food Please wants to place a castle right into the face of Splaybuster basically, to kill off his initial TC. Now luckily for Splaybuster, he actually has a second TC in the back, whereas Food Please is still on 1, and we see that in the villager numbers, Splaybuster now booming ahead, having more than 10 villages ahead, but here he has no choice, he cannot stop this, and oh no, don't run into the pikeman, oh god. Losing so much HP on the knight. This is just so weak, they're just not gonna cut it here. So he has to vacate all of these villages. They're gonna just build a new town center, because why not? And he can still produce more villages from this one. So I think it will get shot down. It projects a lot of power into this region. It secures the resources. So Food Please now has secured the stone, the gold pile of Splaybuster, another stone, another gold. So he has a lot of resources, but he needs to utilize them. And yeah, but that he needs to not fall behind in economy too far. However, the pikemen's still doing work. I mean, yes, the knights can take the fight, but do you want to take the fight? Okay. Luckily for Splaybuster, Food Please is not realizing this, but more pikemen are coming in. And yeah, Splaybuster just has to run. He's like, okay, I have knights, you just have trash units, but yeah, I cannot do anything. I'm just scared, I cannot do anything, and maybe even the monk will get picked off. If Splaybuster is not careful, yeah, but he's able to pull the monk back. So I think that's why you need to really go for archers, but no, Splaybuster is going for skirmishers. Why are you going for skirmishers? Look at the resources. Splaybuster has 400 gold, has 900 wood, and he's making skirmishers while he has very little food actually. So for that you need to know that skirmishers actually have a bonus damage against pikemen, but it does not contribute as much as the damage that archers already have. And now finally he's realizing, hey, I'm the Saracens, I need a market. And so he's now making the market with like 7 villagers or 6 villagers here, so that's like a panic market. And I don't think the skirmishers are going to cut it here. Especially if you look that there's a knight here for Food Please, and one knight can just clean out 10 skirmishers, no problem. That's not an issue there. And look at the gold count. Oh, look at the market magic here. So Splaybuster are actually selling a lot of excess wood, buying a lot of gold, and just to buy a lot of stone to get a castle up. However, I think it would have been just better to use the gold to make a lot of archers. Just make archers, siege workshop, and mangonels. Because look at this. I mean, probably the castle will go up, but at what cost? I mean, he's losing villages over here, he lost a lot of knight numbers, the skirmishers, what are the skirmishers gonna do? They're trash. They're not just called trash unit for no reason. Yes, the pikemen are also trash units, but they're actually countering something. They're actually countering the knights, which are expensive, which are very strong, so you need something to counter them. I think here clearly crossbowmen would have been the better option. No, I almost missed the slaughtering of so many villagers over here. A knight is in the economy of Splaybuster, killing 1, 2, 3, 4 villagers over here. Probably will kill more and more villagers. A berserk also now coming in. And again, I mean, you need something to counter these units from your opponent. Well, right now Splaybuster at least getting in a nice counter raid. because the pikemen are occupied with this house. I mean, the units just love to attack houses. Now they finally react, but already so many villages have been slaughtered. Now it's 50 to 40 villages overall, but I think the knights will do more here, and they actually do have +1 attack, +1 defense. Doesn't have the +2 defense yet, so that's maybe a little bit of an oversight. But yeah, they can do so much more. They will be able to kill more villages. One more going down over here. Maybe another one will go down, and all the villages have to be pulled. So a lot of idle time. Another villager going down. This one might fall as well. So nicely done there as a counter raid. But at the same time, look at the economy of Splay Buzzer idling over here. So many dead bodies. Still one berserk over here having a duel with Lumbercamp. And yeah, what a game! I mean, it's pretty close, and I think Splay Buzzer actually should have the better situation. Look at this. He has 2,000 wood in the bank. What is this, Splay Buzzer? You just need to drop more farms and make something, or just put more on gold. I mean, he's finally doing that, but at the same time, he's bringing in the berserk. So yeah, berserk beating his girlfriend. And yeah, finally will get shot down by the town center. But you need to make something happen. You need to do something against your opponent who is still just making pikemen. I mean, that's not too scary. The pikemen don't even have upgrades. They only have +1 defense and no attack upgrade. And yeah, and you're making elite skirms. I mean, the elite skirm upgrade is expensive, and it takes a long time to come in. So actually, it's much better to get the crossbow upgrade, and just get a couple of crossbows. I mean, why not? They're not too expensive, and they can be used against all of those different units, and they can also come in and raid. Whereas skirmishes, not so good at raiding, to be honest. Now finally Splay Buzzer getting wheelbarrow as Food Please clicks up to the Imperial Age, and it's maybe a little bit premature, but I like his idea. He's saying, okay, I click up to Imperial Age, I trap down his castle, and then Splay Buzzer won't be able to do anything, and he might actually be right, even though Splay Buzzer has such a big lead in economy, and Flupri is still on one town center, now going for the stone wall, so he clearly is also scared of his opponent. I mean, score lead clearly in favor of Splay Buzzer, but what Flupri doesn't know is that Splay Buzzer has no idea. Splay Buzzer does not know what to do. He's now finally transferring a few more villages here to gold, I think, while this gold pile over here was very, very saturated. Now finally, Splay Buzzer also clicking up to the next age. He has much better economy. He has like 30% more villagers, which is a lot. So just imagine if you have 30% more resources to play with. I mean, that's just a crushing advantage. And now he finally, Splay Buzzer gets kind of the right idea. He's going for more archery ranges, and I just hope that he realizes that if we look onto the Saracen tech tree, we see, okay, we get arbalests, we get thumb ring, and if we look onto the blacksmith, we see, okay, we get all the upgrades for the archers, and we also get a bonus where they get extra attack against buildings. So it's much easier for Saracen arbalests to just push in through walls, take out buildings, and stuff like that. I mean, will just still take long to take out buildings, but it's possible, whereas with other civilizations it's kind of impossible. Yeah, so Fuplis reaching the Imperial Age, he's now going for the Trebuchet, and he will be able to trap down this castle. And again, we can speak about the resources on this map. There are no resources here in this back corner. I mean, there's this one gold pile, and everything else is within the control. I mean, look at all those piles. It's within the control of Food Please. Even this one, even this native gold of Splay Buzzer is within the control of Food Please. So Splay Buzzer cannot mine any stone, so if he wants to repair this, he has to do a lot of market abuse, and that could be so costly. I think at this point it would be better to just accept that this castle is going to go down, maybe produce 2 more trebuchets or get 1 important upgrade, and then just let it happen, and in the meantime mass your army. But look at this, I mean, skirmishes against trebuchets, they're just doing 1 damage per shot, and yeah, now we have the Berserks. Berserks already have full upgrades, so they only take 1 damage from those skirmishes. However, now he's running into the castle fire, so I think this needs to go back. Now the knights are swooping in, and they might actually make something happen here, but no, the army of Kufis is there, and knights will just melt, and also the skirmishes. What are the skirmishes gonna do? I mean, they're not even tickling the pikemen, even though they have a nice bonus damage, because the pikemen also have more hit points. But of course, to balance out the Vikings, they don't get access to halberdiers, so pikemen is all they're gonna get, but that's all they're gonna need. Especially if you're considering that the Berserks actually get attack bonus damage against cavalry if you research the unique tech chieftains. So that's what makes this unit very strong. So that's why a lot of pro players also use Berserks, because they can do anything. They're just very versatile. They're good against cavalry, they're good against infantry, good against skirmishes, good for raiding. So that's why I think it's a good choice for Fuflis to just go for the strong infantry unit, even though he's still lacking a lot of upgrades. He doesn't have the lead, he doesn't have the attack upgrade, but still it's a good choice, because they're just good against skirmishes, and that's all that Splay Buzzer is making. And he has to do so much market abuse. Look at the stone count, he's still repairing. Now finally he will be able to maybe trap down one of his opponent's traps. He now bought more stone. It's gonna be so expensive at the market. And yeah, he's gonna be out of stone soon again. He does not have any gold. Yeah, no more stone. Now selling, buying. This is so stressful. It's just a waste of resources, honestly. Yeah, finally he gets one trap down, but it's Fuflis. Basically, with every shot, he's doing a lot of damage to the economy of Splay Buzzer. At the same time, we have to keep in mind that Splay Buzzer is still ahead in economy, but what is happening in the back over here? More raids by Fuflis, just some Berserks, just some pikemen. They're raiding the super idle economy of Splay Buzzer. I mean, that was used to be a trademark of Fuflis, but Splay Buzzer can do the same. And yeah, I mean, the pikemen are not very strong. They don't even have the attack upgrade. So they're pretty weak against the villages, but they can still pick it off. And yeah, finally, maybe the pressure has been kind of lifted here, but still, I only see elite skirmishers. Yes. Oh, what a lucky shot by Splay Buzzer. Okay, this was very lucky. I mean, he just sniped the trap of Fuflis, and this will enable him to get a little bit of momentum going here. Maybe take out this castle, or maybe take out this castle, so that's very nice. And now also Splay Buzzer going for more archery ranges, more of the same. I just saw a camel coming out. Why are you going for camels? I mean, Fuflis is just going to make infantry. And why are you going for skirmishes? You know that Fuflis is never going to make archers. Fuflis, he has the idea that, okay, towers shoot arrows, so why make archers? So he never goes for archers, and you should know that. So that's why the skirmishes are not so good. And camels against what? I mean, yes, camels now work a little bit differently with the Saracens. They now already get plus 10 HP in Castle Age, so right when you can make them. But their unique tech now only gives them plus 20 HP. So in the end, you only get plus 30 as was the case before, but it's now staggered, and arguably this makes them a little bit more interesting, a little bit more useful as a camel civilization, gives them a little bit more identity. So I think it's overall a good change. But I think now this castle of Fuflis will fall within the next volley of those trebuchets firing. One more hit, and yeah, the castle is being destroyed here by Fuflis, and Fuflis suddenly on the back foot. But what is he doing? He is adding economy. He has added a second town center over here. He has added a lot of farmlands. I mean, he doesn't seem to have enough farmers for that, but still, he's going. Oh yeah, now he's creating more farmers. So he really is going for the economical approach, because he realizes, okay, I'm not able to kill my opponent with one final push, so I need to recover a little bit, get more economy going. Yeah, his castles are going down. But as long as Splay Buzzer is only making elite skirmishes, which he has 40 now, he won't be able to compete with this army, because, yeah, look at this, it's just a couple of basically Castle Age Berserks, but they only take 1 damage per shot from elite skirms. Elite skirms don't even have chemistry yet. And so what used to be 40 elite skirms is now only 17 and dropping, and basically still the same number of elite berserks. And yeah, and that's how Splaybuster just lost his entire army of trash units. They're just trash. And honestly, camels are not gonna cut it. And now he has the problem. Well, he can make knights, but he cannot upgrade them to cavalier, and he cannot make paladins. So what is Splaybuster doing? And there's 2 options. As I said, the best option would have been, or would still be, I guess, even though he's slowly running out of gold, but I think it still would be to go for archers, because you can still make a couple of archers, and they would just easily counter this militia or men-at-arms that are coming out now for food, please. But there's also another option. Just get chemistry, and then you can make a couple of hand cannons. I mean, hand cannons, pretty bad unit, pretty expensive, but against the mass of infantry might be still the right call. I mean, if you just mix in a couple of hand cannons, even if you mix it into this army of skirmishers, it could be very effective. Now Splaybuster coming forward, finding a few villager kills here and there on the gold. But yeah, berserks are again in, and as we said, the berserks are just too strong. They're not even elite. Food Priest doesn't even have a castle. He does not have the upgrade. He doesn't have berserker gang. He doesn't have the chieftain's tech. So for those of you who don't know, berserks regenerate HP very slowly, and there's a unique tech which actually increases this rate. But yeah, some knights in the back, but they're just gonna get cleaned up by the berserks. And yeah, now this berserk will just heal back, and Food Priest will be able to get a lot more value out of this unit. So just a very good unit overall, especially against trash. I mean, they just shred all kinds of trash. Especially with the unique techs, they're just trash killers, the berserks. So that's why they are so good. And now Food Priest doesn't have a castle anymore, so what he's going to do is mix in long swordsmen. And yeah, why not? Why not? They get extra hit points, so why not mix in this unit? And yeah, Splaybuster still, right now lost the economy lead. He does not know what to do. He's like wedged into this corner over here. He still has the score lead. That's why Food Priest probably still scared. He like puts out those walls over here, even though they don't do much. But I think he's still scared of his opponent, but there's nothing to be scared of because Splaybuster has nothing. He has nothing. He doesn't have a plan. He doesn't have any units. And now the long swordsmen are coming in. The two-handed swordsman upgrade is being researched. And look at this. Yeah, I mean, you would say, wow, that's not a great unit overall, especially in the Imperial Age, but it's perfect unit against whatever Splaybuster is making. I think now he's losing a lot in the castle fire, but honestly it doesn't matter too much because now the capped rams of Food Priest are coming in and they're ramming down the archery ranges. Now the two-handed swordsman upgrade is in, and now those units are scary, especially if we consider the unique bonus of the Vikings. Just very quickly show it to you. Where is it? So the infantry gets plus 20% hit points in the Imperial Age. So that's why the infantry of Vikings is really strong, and it can actually compete with knights, I think, one-on-one. Now Splaybuster are getting very desperate. He's sending out villagers to the gold mine over here because he has run out of gold in the back, and now he really has to make trash units. But that was not the case a couple of minutes ago, and I think he just wasted all his gold on repairing this castle. And yeah, the castle is still standing, but overall I think it would have been better just to invest the gold in something else. And yeah, now these villagers will get destroyed by the two-handed swordsman, and yeah, they will just raid and will be just produced at an immense rate. Look at the queue of Food Priest in the top left corner. He's just spamming out the units, and soon he will go for the champion upgrade, I think, which will be the final nail in the coffin for Splaybuster. Look at the villager count now. Food Priest also booming comfortably ahead, 72 villages against 43. And I think this is over, and Splay Buzzer loses this game, and this could be the big equalizer. Still, the score is deceptively similar, and I'm not sure how this is exactly calculated, because Food Please has a big advantage in villages and also military. And so I'm not quite sure, but still, again, see the problem with the knights, especially in Imperial Age. They just lose to those pikemen that Foodfist is able to make, and they lose against the long-handed swordsman, basically. So there's not much you can do, and yeah, as I said, skirmishes. I mean, it's one fight. Splay Buzzer lost 30 skirmishes to just a couple of basically Castle Age Berserks, and that shows you that while skirmishes, they have their use. Certainly, in the right circumstance, you definitely want to go for them, but not in the circumstances Splay Buzzer was, and he was still in a comfortable position. He had a couple of gold piles here and there. He knew what his opponent would be able to make, and he just went for the wrong unit, and that shows you how decision making is such an important factor in this game. I mean, he had so much more economy, Splay Buzzer, and in the end, yeah, it didn't work out. Food Please, interestingly, still being a little bit scared. He put down more stone walls, and now he's completing the laming in the center. And I think these villages will get picked off already. But if you look at this, Splay Buzzer never tried to regain this area. He could have just tried to push away this watchtower, try to get the gold back over here, but he's stubborn. He's staying in this position with his skirmishes, and he might even lose the trebuchet right now to these 200 swordsmen, soon to be champions. And well, if you compare a champion to a knight, for instance, you see that of course they have less hit points, but they have just as much attack, or even more attack, and they're just so much cheaper. So that's why you can spam them like Food Please is doing. He's producing 12 200 swordsmen from this one barracks, because he's researching champion behind, and I think this game is basically over. Look at this, 84 hit points, champions from the Vikings, 13 plus 1 attack, 13 plus 2 now. Yeah, you need something very strong for this. You need archers or hand cannons, or maybe even a big mass of Mamelukes, but still, skirmishes not being the option, especially without chemistry. I mean, one attack per hit will not win you any fights, and I think this is going to be over. I mean, look at the production queue. Food Please, look at the production queue of Splay Buzzer. It's just a couple of villagers and elite skirms, and I think he will call the GG soon in the game 4 of the grand finals of this Coronation Cup, and there he calls it. Splay Buzzer says GG. I cannot compete with this. Food Please saying GG. And Food Please winning this match on Socotra with the early laming, which he then nicely transitioned into counter units, and really Splay Buzzer seemingly wasn't able to find any strategy, anything that he was able to do against Food Please. He seemed kind of odd in his decision making, and maybe it's due to the beer that he had after the win in the last game, or maybe he's getting tired. But yeah, so suddenly Sirius is tied 2-2, and yeah, still anyone could win it. And if we look at the timeline just really quickly before we jump into the next game, we can see it's pretty even, and then Splay Buzzer really goes ahead. He's ahead here. He has massive population advantage, massive military advantage. But look at this, it's all just elite skirmishes, and his opponent has just a couple of measly. I mean, look at this, that's just a couple of units, and still he was able to just demolish the entire army of Splay Buzzer, and from that point on, it was downhill. I think Splay Buzzer could have easily won this if he just gone for archers, maybe let the castle just go down, just yeah, do something else with the resources. But he did not, and that's why Food Please was able to win. And I'm especially happy since I was able to cast this game even after all this trouble. The only downside is that Gummy Bear is unfortunately not with me, because he already updated the game, and it's very unfortunate, because I would have loved to co-cast with him, but that's just how life is. Alrighty guys, that was game 4, and I hope to see you in the next one.